I'm gonna get started because you get to keep this one, right? But I wanted to hand it in. That's okay. Show me tomorrow. Show me tomorrow. You can still mark it, but calculate the mean salary. Just make sure you follow because I'm gonna talk a little bit about tomorrow's test as well. So I'll go through this first. So we add up everything, and there are 6 salaries. So that would be $31,166.67, right? So that would be your average there, your mean salary. Identify any outliers and calculate the trimmed mean. The outlier, let's just identify the outlier. You think there's 2? I see for sure 60,000, right? And you would put 15,000 in the outlier category too? Okay, well, in this case, the trimmed mean will still be correct. But if I look at the jump, right, from the second highest to the highest, there's like a 30,000 jump, right? From the 15,000 to, what's the next one? It's this one. So it's about 9,000 of a jump. So I'll make it very clear on the test which one is the outlier. So if you picked it, just watch for the 1, right? Unless it's significant, unless you do have a significant, but I will say the outlier is 60,000. And so you get a mark for that, just identifying the outlier. For trimmed mean, it's not going to affect you, right? Because we will remove the highest and the lowest. So one way of doing that is just taking my previous sum and I just subtract the 2, and then my number down here goes from 6 to 4, right? Because you're trimming 2. So there's one outlier, but you're trimming 2 numbers. You've got to understand that, right? So what do we add there? I got 12,000. No, 112, sorry. That doesn't make sense, 12,000. Divided by 4, so that would be 28,000. Okay, so 28,000 is my trimmed average, my trimmed mean. Does it make sense that our average dropped? And the answer is yes, because, right, a high outlier will decrease the trimmed mean. Okay, so you need to understand that if you're removing a high value, it's going to bring down your trimmed mean. If you're removing a low value, it's actually going to bring up your trimmed mean compared to the arithmetic mean. Okay. Okay. Explain why there's a difference, right? The trimmed mean omits any outliers. The trimmed mean omits any outliers, while the arithmetic mean uses them all, right? Any outliers, comma, by trimming, just tell me what you're doing, right? Trimming the highest and lowest value. Okay, so you omit the outlier by trimming the highest and the lowest value, or values. It depends on what the scenario is. Right? Arithmetic mean includes all values, right? All values, and can be skewed or biased, right? It can be affected. If you include everything, it doesn't show the true picture quite often, because outliers are caused by human error, are caused by something that isn't the norm. Okay, so that's why you want the trimmed mean, to eliminate any hiccups, right? Any human error that may have caused it. Okay, solve for x. So this is we're where you look at trig, right? This is SAS, or you see that you don't have a pair, so you need to use cosine law. So I'm going to solve for x here. It goes like this: x squared is equal to 3 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 3 times 7 times cosine of 28. And if you forget, right, your formula sheet, let's say you don't have it on your study sheet, you should be able to use your formula sheet, right? I used it right here. I used that one right there. And notice that if you want to solve for side A, you got to make sure you have that angle across from it on the other side, right? That is key. They're across each other. It's like a pattern. The next line is just plugging that in. So that's 9 plus 49 minus 6 times 7 times cos of 28. That's 20.916, and we use all decimals. And so taking the square root of my answer is 4.57. 4.57 inches. There may be 1 or 2 trig questions in there, so just know how to do basic trig. And then this one, you can see that you have a pair. This is sine law, right? So you picking the right law can already score you some marks, right? So we go sine of 92 over 27.3. And it happens to be that you have the angle across the side you're trying to find. If they asked you for this side, beware, you already know two angles, right? Find the third angle, 180 minus this, right? And then you start solving. So got to watch out a little bit there. I tried to simplify it just to review the basics, right? So that's how you, so angles, side, side. And then you do the cross multiply and divide trick. Sine of 38 divided by sine of 92. And that is, I'll just give you the answer, 16.82 centimeters. So just remember how to do that, okay? Good old trig. Good old trig. Might come in handy one of these days. Okay, let's keep going on the back side. And if you're bored, right, at home, just watch this video. All right. Renia is purchasing a vehicle for $27,350 after taxes and fees. She'll be making a $12,000 down payment. Calculate the monthly payment if the interest rate is 3.75%. You should have a formula that you will not find this anywhere else, right? But it's the price minus down, right? Like this times table over 1,000, right? Something like that, right? So to figure out the payment, you take the 27,350, you take away the 12,000. And what do we call this? This is the loan. This is the loan. This is how much you're going to ask for. The bank is going to pay that, right? The remaining amount. And then this you'd get from your table. So 3.75 over 4 years. So 4 years is right here, 3.75. It's even highlighted. Oh my goodness. Couldn't miss it, right? 22.47. I tried to get rid of the highlighter when I copied the screen, but I guess it didn't work. Freebie, right? And this is 15 something, 15,350. 15,350. It's very important that you write that down because most likely you're going to need it again. So the payment is this times that divided by 1,000. And make sure you check if your answer is reasonable. No, sorry, that's not reasonable. 344.91. That's your monthly payment right there. Okay. Calculate the total interest paid. That's TI. You should also have that on your formula sheet. What is that again? Payment times 12, because that's for a year, times the number of years minus the loan, right? And so the payment is 344.91 times 12 times 4, so it's 48 payments of that. That's how you think of it. Minus 15,350. And that gives you, I don't have that number, so let me just really quickly. That is 16,555.68 minus 15,350. So I'm just going to subtract my loan amount from it, and there you have it, 1,205.68. And if Mr. Erickson is sneaky and puts in the first month interest, do you remember that one? The first month interest? That would be lowercase I, and that is loan. I'm forgetting how I gave this to you, but interest rate divided by 100. That's normally, I think, how I gave it to you, and all of that divided by 12. So if I ever ask you that, your loan is 15,350. Your interest rate, not this rate, guys, the interest rate right here, it's 3.75 divided by 100, because it's percent. You got to turn it into a decimal. And so you would just type it in like that. So 15,350 times 0.0375, that's what you get when you divide these two, is equal to, divide that by 12, so it's 47.97, right? That's how much interest you would be paying on the first month. And it changes ever slightly afterwards. You remember amortization tables? Nightmare or good memories? I don't know. And the last one, this is what? Expected value, right? Expected value. I gave you a formula for this. And I also give you the formula there again, but the one I give you is slightly different. For gain, I go price minus the cost of playing, right? The formula I gave you, but it's really the same steps. So here we go. A gumball machine has 3 white gumballs out of 325. If you get a white one, you win $5. It costs $1.25 to turn the knob. You know which I'm talking about, right? The cheap, yeah. So expected value, the probability of winning is 3 out of 325. And you would be winning $5, but you paid $1.25 to play. Minus, what's the probability that you lose? Take the 3 away from 325. So there's 322 chances of losing, right? This adds up to 325. And then you just go times $1.25. That's how much you would lose if you didn't win. Then clean it up. This is 3.75 minus 322 over 325 times $1.25. And watch how I do this part. You go 3 divided by 325 equals, right? Oh, you can't see that. Right, I divide these two and then I go times 3.75. And here's where you put a dollar amount down already. 3.03 is what I get out of this whole thing, minus 322 divided by 325 times $1.25, and that is 1.24 also dollars. And you're almost there. You're almost there at this point. Just do one step at a time, okay? So you got to be careful here. So this is 0.03 minus $1.24. That's actually negative 121. And what does that tell us? If expected value is negative, loss is expected. Don't tell me it's only $1.21. It's not quite high enough. Don't give me that. Just mention the fact whether it's negative or positive. If it's positive, we play. If it's negative, we still play in real life, but not in this course. What's that? The back page would have been out of 8, according to my books here. It would have been 8, but I'm not taking this in, so. You give yourself like +5 bonus marks or something like that. I don't know if that makes you feel better. Okay, so you can put this away. I'm just gonna talk about the quiz real quick. You need to go, right? Okay. I'm just gonna have it so that it's on the video if you want to look at it yourself, right? But yeah, this was supposed to be 69.95 or almost 70. Look at what I do here: multiply, add, divide. This one category did add up to 100, so I knew bingo. I will just have to divide by 100 when I'm done adding everything up. Okay. Then here, same. Most of you got it right. Just be a little careful when you're multiplying. Some of you make some small mistake upstream. To me, that's not a big deal. You know why? Because you're showing me the work. If you just all of a sudden just come up with something here and there's nothing in between, then I would take more marks off. Okay. But if I can see, oh, you got 138 instead of 136, that's not a big deal to me. And notice my analysis here. I wanted the percentage, right? Calculate the class average mark, so they want this. So we need to divide by students. Way to go, guys. Do this. Right? Do one of those to yourselves. This one I would discourage you to do this. This is just my key. But I would like you to show me what you get when you add it and then divide it by, is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So make sure you show the in-between step just to make sure you don't lose marks. You don't want to lose more than you have to. The outlier is 45 minutes. So when you find the trimmed mean, ka-ching, right? You're left with this. I have a nicer key somewhere, but that's what you're left with. So your answer should be 29.33 minutes. This one was done very well as well. You multiplied. You get the multiplying and the adding you get that right. This is the part where we need to make sure we understand, right? They asked us for hours, so we divide it by students, the number of students, which is this row right here. You got that. And the backside, oh, the backside is not on here, because I added that later. But I do want to talk about it. Here it is. I have an organized mess right now on my desk here. This refers to, just 1 second here, guys. Since the outlier is low, the trimmed mean would be higher than the arithmetic mean. That's what I was looking for there. And I know it's a little messy because I added that later, but the average is here. The trimmed mean is up here, right? You can compare the arithmetic mean and the trimmed mean. And the median is 4.85 because you need to pick the middle numbers, right? So you needed to arrange it as I did here. And then it's the middle. Can you just make sure you don't do this? if you do this, I can guarantee you're going to get the wrong answer. So let's say you add and then you do this in one shot. Unless you put brackets around the addition, you're going to get the wrong answer. That's what a lot of you got, right? 7.215. No, you keep it. Yeah. So make sure you do either just do the first part and then divide by 2, right? And then you'll be all right. So to end the day, I'm going to give you a test review, and I'm going to post the answer key to that online.